make the bellboy look suspicious. I see. Very well, this court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. I thought it was kind of strange for a bellboy to come out of a guest room empty-handed. So you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed? Yeah, really suspicious. I mean, when I first saw that bellboy, yeah, he was holding a thing. He was holding a tray in his hand, and there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it. Juice? What kind of juice was it? I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice. If you come up with some sort of reason as to why he would come out of empty-handed, some sort of proof, then I think we can dodge the bullet on this one for now. Proof, huh? Sounds like another job for the court record. Yep. Question is, how do I approach this? So there's a couple of things I could do. One is the photo of the crime scene, the other is this wine glass, I think. Yeah, I would say that's, yeah, it's not suspicious. Well, the crime scene photo might be a bit much, but you know what, I'll try this. Yeah. Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? Oh, good. As soon as you heard that bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches, and... So? A baseball has stitches. Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also... I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the... Oh. This is the crime scene. There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Kurita's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is on the top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Kurita's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. Ah, but that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. Ah, but can you prove that Mr. Kurita was already dead at that time? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed, or should I say, empty-handed. And I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black, leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Boy, does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, gotta focus. I can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright. That bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So, a football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather? But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant, and then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes, please tell us more. Okay. I wear black leather gloves. Does that make me suspicious? Depending on the setting. Potentially. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door, just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room. Yeah, I kind of saw all that by accident. Some accident. I'd say you saw too much. All of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Come on, Phoenix. Come on, Phoenix, we can tough this out. Ooh. My voice is feeling sorry for itself. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door. Is that what you saw while you were busy spying? Excuse me? I may be poor underpaid. I may be a poor underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying. Well, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers? Oh, from the door of the bathroom with my left eye and a sort of sneaky spy-like. I knew he was spying. Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. He gave something to the person inside the room. I said, hold it. Okay. That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Ask about the person inside, ask about this something. He gave something to this person? Yeah. And what was this something? Ha ha ha. If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. This is an incredibly crucial piece of information. Please, try to remember what it was. I'll try. In the meantime, let's talk of another point, namely what the bellboy did next. Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing, then the old guy just left without even going into the room. Where did this bellboy go after he left Miss Engarde's room? He opened the door to the Viola Hall. Went in there, and well, who knows after that, right? I do. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. Did you see anything strange, suspicious, or just out of the ordinary at that time? Oh yeah, I saw that one thing. What? You saw something else? There was this jittery alien with a ray gun. Oh. I was watching Juan's door like some sort of stalker. I think we can forget about the alien. Well, Mr. Powers' testimony just now was just as vague as his first. It's a little troublesome, isn't it? But I'm sure if you press him enough, everything will become clearer. Although, that just makes it harder on us, doesn't it? Ugh, talk about a lose-lose situation. Okay, so, yeah, this bit's gonna be important again. I said, hold it. Good. Excuse me? Okay. Yeah, come on, elaborate. Ask about the person. So who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item to some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please, try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... No... If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I could say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. Well, I think I know what that is. A statue? Yeah, it kind of looked like one, I guess. If I saw the actual thing again, I'd probably remember, you know. Looks like for this trial to proceed, I'm going to have to come up with whatever this statue thing is and show it to him. I'm going to have to trust your instinct on this one and take a chance, Phoenix. Well, Mr. Powers, let's continue with your testimony. What did the bellboy do after that? So do I... Well, I guess I'm not contradicting something, I'm just presenting it, and that would be this, so... What was the point of that Oh, sorry, that's not the judge. What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that ejection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Powers is basically doing Gumshoe's job in this. Yeah, more or less. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix. Deep breath. Mr. Powers, the something you saw. Was it this item? Oh, hey, that's it. That's the something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Matt Engarde's mansion. At the defendant's house? What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley the Killer assassinated Juan Corrida in his room, and then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Miss Engarde's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Matt Engarde is the killer's client. Fucking D-killer, I still can't get over that. Oh, I said order! Mr. Wright, this is the most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please. Hang on, I'm gonna save real quick here. Yes, Mr. Wright? There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh? Well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Powers' testimony, the person who received the bear itself. So the one thing that legitimately actually may not line up with this is, I think it's the person, because we established at some point that, Andrews was in the room with Engarde. And if we've already gone to the point that Engarde was planting stuff... Well, sorry, no, Engarde and Andrews had dinner together. That was the whole thing about the knife, right? Because, like, Andrews was eating with him, he went to go for a nap, and then the knife ended up in Corrida's room. That was her whole point with framing him. So, I think if we can try and pin it to get Andrew, or imply that Andrews was the one that received the bear, to make it look like Engarde, to make it look like it was part of her, part of her not blackmail, framing. Thank you, brain. This is going to be a tough day. I think we can do this. There's one thing in Mr. Power's testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of... Ah! What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Actually, so, I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm... It was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it. That's not conclusive evidence. Also, stitches? What? Okay, that aside, we can still work with this because, so this isn't foolproof, but we do know that Adrian wore the costume at some point. We could, like, make a claim that needs to get kind of unraveled by Edgeworth later, but we could complicate this by saying, but we know Andrews was wearing the costume at some point. So this, like, it's not quite correct because the order of events doesn't make sense. And I guess we could kind of, like, work that into that, right? Where it's like, well, that's because the bellboy didn't actually kill... Well, no, I guess that doesn't make sense either. Because then they would have reported the body. Or reported the murder, rather. Yeah, like, it's not foolproof. Edgeworth can easily do it, but it complicates things. This, like, I'm struggling to fit my brain around this new thing that we're supposed to do. Rather than finding the truth, we have to try and find ways to complicate things. We're kind of actually being Edgeworth and Francisca in previous cases, which is an interesting turn of events here. It was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it. You've got to be kidding. Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Well, you're sure it was the Nickel Samurai's arm? No, stop. Order, order. Looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took in this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Matt on guard is the Nickel Samurai. Thanks to the defense, we've made that all the clearer. What am I supposed to do now, Mia? Oh, Mia, help! You don't have time to act lost. You've got to find another angle to attack this from. Hurry. Now, I will bring this cross-examination to... Your Honor. Again, Mr. Wright. We've already removed any and all questionable areas of this testimony. It's about time you were removed from this court, Mr. Wright. I have to find something. Even one more little point will do. There are still questions left unanswered. What are you trying to pull? Oh? Well, we can't have that. Alright, just, did we just loop back around? Powers' testimony. Mr. Powers' testimony, of course. Huh? I know that... Your inanity stupefies me, Mr. Wright. We've already clarified all the questionable points during the cross-examination just now. Wasting time like this calling the testimony questionable. I'd say it's your head that's questionable here. Fuck you. Well, I guess we keep pressing this then. There's one thing in Mr. Power's testimony that is very unclear, that is the identity of who's received the bear. As long as we don't know... Like, are we just doing this again? Can't be sure of... Ah. Scream. And this is the same thing as before. Stick with Samurai's arm, I swear, you've got to be kidding. Okay, I'm confused. But that doesn't... I think I've leapt to another conclusion now, and what this is doing is asking me to do something else before this happens. Alright, so we're back here again. The bear itself. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? This was found at Mr. Enguarde's mansion. However, Mr. Enguarde was arrested at the hotel that night. I didn't think of that. That is very true. How did the bear get to his house? Which means that since the murder occurred, he was not... Fuck, like, I even thought of that at the time, but I completely forgot about that. Which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Matt Enguarde who took this bear to his mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Whew. Disaster averted, if only briefly. You haven't got the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Enguarde's mansion. With this area completely surrounded, there was no way for him to escape. Can't believe it. That butler, all this time he was D-Killer. D-Killer and Enguarde were working together, so to speak. A D-Killer was hiding at Enguarde Mansion as its butler. What a bold move. Oh man, my voice is killing me today. The bear figurine was brought back to Enguarde Mansion by D-Killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Enguarde had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. Wait, so... Hold on. Wait, is, Is Edgeworth implying here that D-Killer was taking the bear from, Enguarde? In that exchange? Or that he got it later? Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I think we've heard enough. We know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client, who hired the assassin to commit the murder, was Mr. Matt Enguarde. I see no reason for this trial to continue, therefore I will now hand down my verdict. Did we just fuck up? You see, Mr. Wright? You could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Well, do I? What should I do? I didn't think I was going to have to make this decision. Okay. So there are a couple of things that are crossing my mind right now. Obviously, just to save Maya, we raise an objection, because we want to try and prove that On Guard is not guilty. If we want to follow Maya's advice, we just let this slide, and he gets not guilty. From a meta standpoint, we have not gone through nearly any of the other things related to this case that we found out, which means we need to continue it on, which means we need to raise an objection, which is also in line with what Gumshoe was saying about just extending this case for as long as possible to help them try and catch D Killer. I will now announce my... There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honor. Right now, we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at On Guard Mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I'm saying is, it's possible a different person is D Killer's real client. The real client? Yes. Is this all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is D Killer's real client, and therefore the real murderer? That would be Andrews. Adrian Andrews? Yes. We already know that she tried to frame Matt On Guard for the crime. Thank you. By wearing a spare Nickel Samurai costume. Then the Nickel Samurai's arm that I saw, that could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. On Guard? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. Oh, that's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. On Guard's mansion. It was a well-laid trap set by Mrs. Andrews. That actually got silence out of Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in this defense's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. It's with this trial. Come on, anyone can tell On Guard did it. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt onto someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things. This is to save Maya. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order, order, order. All disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor. For the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with this what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Oh, how the table I fucked up fucking up that phrase. I was gonna say how the turn tables instead of how the tables turn, but Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered. Why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. D-Killer did specially bring that bear to On Guard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Something was kept in it. Probably a suicide note, actually. Now that I think about it, I don't know why I hadn't considered that before. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? That's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you tried to pin the guilt onto Adrian. I swear this demon will pay. Mr. Nick. Pearls? Where's Mia? I don't know. Really strong power suddenly called her away. Probably Maya. Really strong power. Mr. Nick, your phone is... It's from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. Just barely found something to latch onto. Phew, that's good, pal. What about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where D-Killer and Maya are? Well, we still don't have any leads, but... What? We don't have any more time. If we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful. I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, I've got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. Have I just run out of luck this time? Is all our hope for naught? A tent. Huh? A tent? I could see a circus tent. Mia? It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away. She's locked in a dusty little room right now, but I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe, is there a circus in town right now? Phoenix. Actually, I can't remember the month off the top of my head of the circus case, but, like, Phoenix. There was a circus in town not recently. Like, fuck, dude. There's only one, pal, the Big Berry Circus. Maya's somewhere within a 300-foot radius of the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map. About a 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hurry. And? I could see a mailbox under the window, just outside. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox. Okay, what else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. Felt like I was in an old office building, maybe the 3rd floor or so. I heard her. An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. Good luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Oh, fuck. What an absolute, like, tragedy of an ending to this case would it be if, like, during the recess, Phoenix looks at his phone and it's been dead. Oh, fuck. That would be so dire. Mia, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please hurry. Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer. Okay, yeah, I didn't think we were going to get to be continued there. Court will now reconvene. D-Killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. There's something really funny about that sentence. Like, we're trying to establish who killed, or if... We're trying to establish if Matt Engarde is guilty of killing Juan Corrida, but we all seem to have just conceded that D-Killer is the actual killer. Like, is that... Is that not a bit weird? It's like, ah, yes. So, in order to determine the... Well, guilt. Determining guilt. Was he actually guilty of murdering? I don't know. I still have a theory that you could work this in a way that's like, well, D-Killer is the person who killed Engarde, so Matt is not guilty of that. He wanted to hit on a person though, so like, he's guilty of that. So you could technically get the not guilty on this, but D-Killer is like very yeah, actually no, that wouldn't work because in D-Killer's logic, it would be a full acquittal that would only count for that. Because he, like we've established before, he's very honourable. He will go the extra mile to make sure his client is not suspected, and that probably includes the idea that he hired an assassin to kill someone. So that if Phoenix got Matt not guilty on a technicality like that, probably doesn't count. Also, we'd be handing D-Killer a guilty verdict, which, yeah, he may not feel very good, or they may not feel very good about that. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. God. Second day on trial and we're about to dredge up even more of her fucking past. Good. Great. Don't feel terrible at all about this. Oh god, we're gonna be in the situation that Edgeworth was just in. Oh, I'm gonna fucking hate that. Oh god. If that is actually what's gonna happen. Currently the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. You mean it feels weird because it's like throwing a verdict into a person while the actual murder was done by another? Well, yes, because I think that... because I don't know if this trial is like... I don't know how explicit this would be, and this is like, obviously, a bit of my, my ignorance of the legal system to some degree. Like, if someone is on trial for murder, but it turns out that they hired someone to kill someone, does that mean they're guilty? I mean, they're obviously guilty of calling for a hit, but does that make them guilty of murder for that case, if that makes sense? But I guess the way it's structured, it's like a defendant and the prosecution. So it's, is this person guilty of this? Well, because I guess they're trying to determine if he's guilty of anything, and the charges could vary. So no, that actually does make sense. Yeah, it's a different charge. Yeah, exactly. Valk and I, great minds. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You have seen it before? That's right. It's only natural the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? Alright. Why does she... Conspiracy to commit or something from memory? Yeah, pretty much. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. Oh, jewelry box. So this figurine it's a container of sorts, is it? Yes, looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Looks like there really was something to that bear after all. Yep. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. A puzzle? That's right. It looks like an ordinary figurine. Sure enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. Why is my phone going off so much today? So you can take it apart, and how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right, and then push it in. Oh, yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Oh, this is most interesting. Boy and his new toy. That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's like he's 5 all over again. Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? At its center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. And how do you know about this? I know, because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Oh, that's a callback. Also, what the fuck is with the lighting all of a sudden? It looked very my webcam looks like very washed out all of a sudden. It's super weird. Oh, maybe it's because I shifted, yeah, it's probably the amount of white in the picture. When my head was, like, in it, it's kind of, yeah. It looks fine here, I think. Oh, yeah, I was just wondering how the color, like, depending on where my face is sitting, like, sometimes my face blends in with the white wall behind me. I was just trying to make sure that doesn't happen as much as possible, because then it obviously looks pretty shit. And this was a present from you. That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for one. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue with your testimony. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt there are that many people with this same bear in this country. But look, this looks like it could be easily broken, especially if someone wanted to get at what it's inside. Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's been broken. Right, so it's... So the fact that it's all together means that it's never been taken apart. Really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box? I never told anyone. As long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. Two of you, huh? And then, of course, that means Mr. Enguarde didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm going to get for now. Yeah, that is a good point for us. Enguarde and Juan. Sorry, not Enguarde and Juan. Enguarde and Shelley shouldn't know what the significance of that figurine necessarily. If what Adrian has just established is true. I think this is about all I'm going to get for now. Wooden puzzle with a hollow inside. Only Corita and Andrews know how to open it. Well, Mr. Wright? I think even you have come to realize... that there is one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we've agreed to this point, there is only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we are going to find out next. Witness? Yes. You are the only one who can open this. Please. 5 minutes later. Some hateful silence hanging over the room. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted? What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess at what it is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note. The suicide note? Suicide note left by Juan Corrida's former manager, Celeste Impax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts. But just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Corrida himself. It seems Celeste Impax had very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness, did you know about this? Yes, I did. I'd heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere, because it had already been taken by D. Killer. Everything is going at Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right. At least, that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it is only appropriate the contents of this note be made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. I was going to burn it, for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax left to us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and then thrown away by On Guard. About being engaged to Corrida and On Guard's role in destroying that. And about how she decided, in her despair, to end it all. I'm glad they actually glossed over that rather than actually writing a suicide note. That's probably the best way to handle that, to be honest. And that's all Miss Impax had to say. There's one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. On Guard. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word! Matt On Guard values above all else his refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. And I guess that doesn't extend to him not revealing his true persona in the middle of the court lobby room, but we'll drop that, otherwise I'll be at any cost. Found inside the figurine, it tells of On Guard's horrible misdeeds. It's On Guard's fault that woman killed herself. And this time, he even went so far as to kill someone to stop him from revealing that. Terrible. What a selfish person. I guess there are slimeboy lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too. There is no room for doubt here. Mr. D. Killer's client's goal was to obtain this suicide note, and the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house. It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. Ugh, how am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know. I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay. There are two deadly pieces of evidence, the figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of this situation through one of those. The gavel's already in the judge's hands, Phoenix. Hurry. My guess would be that, we could argue... So, I think it's personally the bear. I think we can try and argue... We can extend this case a lot by trying to establish how D. Killer and, On Guard would have known about the statue. Because the statue's contents the statue couldn't be opened by anyone else. It was put together, so it wasn't taken apart by anyone. So the only people who knew what was in there was Adrian and Juan. So why did they take the statue? That's what I'm going to try and go for here, if I can. Suicide note or the figurine. Which one of these should I pursue? The figurine. Please wait, Your Honor. Oh man, look at that lawyer. He's still going at it. It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. The assassin took this with him from the crime scene after murdering Mr. Corrida, at the request of his client, of course. So, what's your point, Mr. Wright? I don't think it's possible that Mr. D. Killer's client was Matt On Guard. In fact, I think there is a contradiction here. You can't tell by just looking at it that this bear is really a jewelry box. The chances that Matt On Guard thought the note was inside this bear are 0 to none. Thank you, Phoenix. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Exactly. But I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. After all, there is no reason why Mr. On Guard would ever want a jewelry box like this. Order, order, order. You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It's just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately. I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Uh-huh. The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It is a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the... Is he just going to completely ignore the point? Fucker. He's using our thing on him, where it's just like, hang on, what about this piece of evidence? I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Matt On Guard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weakness. Oh, that's a good point. It wouldn't... yeah. If On Guard did it for this situation, he might have done it before, and since they're both very much, like... Yeah, reverse roles on. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, that argument could go either way. Like, on one hand, I can absolutely buy that they'd be spying on each other to do that exact sort of thing, right? But at the same time, I feel like they would know that the other is trying to do that, so they would go out of their way to prevent them from doing that, if that makes sense. And the victim, Juan Corrida, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt On Guard. Order! Order! Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? You... Don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of. God, right, you could phrase this so much better. Like, I knew he was spying on the murder scene, yes. That doesn't mean he was literally spying everywhere else, and it also doesn't mean that Kurita wouldn't have found ways to circumvent that. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. Uh-oh. Oh no, he found that in the... He found that somewhere else, didn't he? But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night, I searched the victim's house on a hunch. Using this. Gumshoe's bug sweeper. Hang on a second. Something's stuck in my teeth. Oh, there we go. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Mr. Engarde's fingerprints were on there? Well, Phoenix, looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. Engarde learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, what's that lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man the bad killer guy? Shush, stop, don't look at him. Well, he's sweating, it's just so... nasty. Phoenix? Yes, Chief. Have you figured out what you're going to do next? Yep. Not quite, but I'm gonna save out of reflex. What I'm going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work? Now, it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There is a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate? I'm not actually sure what she's driving at here. I really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking riddles all of a sudden? Alright, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence that Maya is talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be looked at? Or should I let it go? Okay, let's actually think about this. What has Edgeworth glossed over? I'm not having a good time with this one. Oh, missed it. Gotcha. Sorry. Trying to keep the fruit flies at bay. Oh, thanks for the host, Charles. I really appreciate that. You're just in time to for me to sit here wondering what the fuck I'm meant to do. I hope you have a good time. Oh, and I hope everyone who's coming from Charles' stream or watching from Charles' stream, has a good time watching me bumble around, which is actually appropriate because I haven't gotten much sleep. This is probably a bad state to be in for the last case of this game, but here we are. Okay, so Edgeworth hasn't investigated a piece of evidence enough. My guess is it's got something to do with the camera. I didn't fall asleep this time. Oh, good. I think we've actually kind of changed roles, because, like, I'm incredibly tired right now. So, it's the opposite. But that's good to hear. I hope you had a good stream, Charles. That doesn't really tell us anything. Set to record the victim's room. I did, but how's the game going? Not too bad. We haven't hit huge roadblocks yet, but it looks like this might be one of them. We've bought a little bit of time. Currently, basically the roles are a bit reversed right now. So, Edgeworth is doing what we used to do with his presentation style in this case has been a lot more like we used to do, and we have in turn turned into what the prosecutors usually do, which is picking holes in the picking holes to get away from the truth from what the opposing lawyer is trying to talk about. So this is one of these situations where this is very similar to one of these situations where Phoenix presents a piece of evidence and then Edgeworth's like, "Oh, you poor sap, you didn't actually investigate this, did you?" The problem is I don't know what the fuck it is. Okay, well, I mean, we can't just let it go, so we're going to present evidence. I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright. Yeah, it was. In fact, it was the only objection that wasn't immediately preceded by a screaming objection. There we go. Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. You're beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? I was gonna say, like, he's just copying me now. Which, is very appropriate for Phoenix, but, out of context, that's also, So you're telling me that I forgot something? You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. Is it the recording periods? That doesn't seem thing. Maya still freaks me out. Yeah, it still freaks me out too. Hasn't gotten any better, even after the game bent over backwards to try and rationalize itself, but at this point it's just background noise, which is something. So, Edgeworth has presented that he found cameras in Juan's house. So there are a few things here. Like, for starters, if he had multiple of these running at the same time, wouldn't he run into the interference problem that we experienced? Like, he would have had to have had only one of those going at a time. And if that's the case, then it's kind of questionable whether he would have actually seen anything, right? One other thing we could bring up here is the fact that these are set to record at specific times. Now, it's unclear whether all of the cameras follow that, and thus they can only do what is explicitly stated here, but I think that's a bit more weak. We could go for the You know what? I'm actually going to try this. I don't think that worked. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I do believe some special examination is needed of the defendant's brain. I think the item that should be examined is the defense's grey matter. Thank you. Whoops. Mr. Wright, after this trial is over, I would like to see you in my chambers. I think there are a few things we need to discuss. Heck. What are you going to do next? I know it's... In his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Maya? There is a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate? I would really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Alright, objections, anyone? Present evidence. I absolutely have an objection. Weak as piss, Phoenix. Say it with feeling. Thank you. Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. Not so loud. Don't worry about it. This is not like you at all. Your eagerness to... I'm just going to copy what Mia said. I'm going to save here instead, just so it's a bit quicker next time. Isn't that what I just said? You're telling me I forgot something. So close, Miss Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. Yeah, well, that's a Edgeworth. Fuck, I'm really struggling to think of what it's trying to drive at here. Like, I feel like I've completely missed it. Is it about the bear? I wouldn't think so. Credit card receipt? It's not really related to this, and it's not really related to the cameras in Juan's house. Oh god, I'm having a really rough time here. Puzzle with a hollow inside. Only Karita and Andrews know how to open it. Oh. Wait. If they saw the note go in, wouldn't they know how to undo it? No. Okay, I thought I was actually onto something there. But I guess it... yeah, I guess that's kind of a bit iffy. Okay, so we've got the photo in On Guard's mansion. We've got the credit card receipt. We've got the stuffed bear. Transmitter and spy camera aren't it. The picture card. Piece of evidence he should have examined closer. I mean, I feel like it's this, but I don't... This is probably the only thing I feel like he probably wouldn't have examined all that closely. Because he was with us when we found it. But I don't think this is it. It doesn't really... Like, even then, like, what detail would come from this that would... Yeah, I'm kind of stuck here. If anyone has any suggestions, not outright answers, but like... okay, well, if anyone can answer the question, is it only the new evidence I should be considering? I feel like that's a pretty safe assumption, but like assuming that would probably be a good thing, or getting whether that is the case or not would be a good thing. Only if someone actually knows. Like, don't go out looking for it or something like that. Meanwhile, I will try to continue to think about this. Just as confused as you. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I mean, to be fair, Charles, you haven't seen, like, most of the case, so, like, it's to be expected. Me, on the other hand, I've been sitting through the whole thing. Probably shouldn't be... And I really don't want to trial and error this, you know? Like... Yeah, I'm kind of stumped. So it's not the camera, it's not the transmitter, and it's not the bear. Yeah, I didn't think it was that. The bear. No. No, don't save. I don't remember, but probably. Yeah. I mean, at this rate, this is the only new thing left. Yeah, no. Oh, god damn it. I mean, there's a suicide note, but I don't think... The only other new... I might as well try the suicide note. What? That is Miss Inpax's suicide note, right? Who knows? What? I mean, sure, this suicide note was found inside this bear, but this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting on this suicide note has yet to be analyzed. What? How the fuck was I supposed to put that together? Oh, you know what? No, this is the newest piece of evidence that turned up in the case. So that is one of the most believable things that Edgeworth may not have examined, like, as closely. I need a drink and I don't know what just happened. Yeah, I don't know either. But the thing was that Edgeworth said, it looks like she has lovely handwriting, and she even signed it herself. Like, we haven't... I guess the thing is that, like, analyzing handwriting was not something I really thought of. I thought there was a missing aspect to something, not that we haven't put a piece of evidence through as rigorous a test, I guess. Which, yeah, maybe that's just me and my thinking. Like, I guess I just didn't think that was a thing, though. Oh. So, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Inpax or not, that has yet to be even remotely confirmed. Although, this may run the case a bit longer because now someone has to go and analyze that. Because we're basically just, like, yeah, like, here's the problem with the way I was thinking about this. I was thinking a purely, you misread this piece of evidence or something like that. But our goal is not to prove Edgeworth wrong. Our goal is to extend the length of this case. And overly analyzing all of the evidence available is one way to do that. And that, I feel like that's what Maya was actually trying to drive at, was like, we haven't actually looked over this piece of evidence very carefully yet. We've just kind of gone with the fact that it is what it is. Yeah, I do feel kind of stupid for not thinking of that, but on the other hand, this is a very unorthodox situation, and I feel like this is one of those points where it's like, are you actually thinking about this correctly or not? Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting... Mr. Wright, are you saying this suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Enguarde. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into... Ooh! Ooh! Oh, I feel uncomfortable now. Oh, fuck. And I even thought about this. I even mentioned this before, too. Like, I would be really uncomfortable if we're gonna press Andrews about the suicide thing. And we're basically accusing her of what is, like, the most insulting thing to her. Yeah, now that is a big yikes. Fuck, I had something else to add to that, but I completely forgot. Oh boy. I don't know if I was meant to really catch on to that. Like, I'll take the L for, like, oh, I didn't think about, like, what piece of evidence we haven't scrutinized as much. That's fair, right? Like, I completely missed that. Phoenix is going down a road that's, like, Ooh, we can, like, ask to get this legitimized just to make sure, because we want to be 100% right? Like, I want this scrutinized because I want to know for sure that that's the case. We don't need to go throwing this shit around. Holy fuck. Like, Phoenix, you're already defending a person that everyone in the courtroom thinks is guilty and is, like, your reputation is, like, disappearing before your eyes, and now you're accusing the woman who almost killed herself because of her mentor's suicide of faking her mentor's suicide note. What are you doing? Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. That's not true! That's not true at all! Juan could have made it up. Someone else could have planted it. There are a lot of explanations that it... I feel... But the other thing is, what if he's right, though? That's gonna make it worse. It would. It absolutely would. And it would be a huge twist if Phoenix is like... It would undercut a bit of the message of the case here, though, because what we're seeing Phoenix turn into is what the other prosecutors were, right? Like, absolutely going for this one goal, like, one-track mind. Nothing else matters. You have to extend the length of this case, right? And anything goes. Even if you're doing despicable shit like this, right? We're seeing Phoenix turn into that now. That would be a good twist, but it would seriously undercut this situation because it would turn out that Phoenix was right. And that is kind of a problem for the message that I feel this is going for. If it does do that, I'm going to be upset. Well, granted, he's not doing it for glory, unlike Edgeworth, who wanted glory at first. This is true. He is doing it to save someone. However, he is still doing what I ragged about Edgeworth for. I think that's why he's like that. Oh, absolutely. But it shows very clearly that Phoenix is prone to the same flaw, right? Even if it's for better reasons. He's accusing a woman who almost committed suicide over her mentor dying of faking her mentor's suicide note. That is low. Like I said, we could have stopped it. I want to make sure that this note is legit. And just not thrown accusations, just like, we need to know if this is legit. This just turned up in a jewelry box. It could have turned up from anywhere. We don't know that this is the note. But he's going as hard as he can, and it's a better sell. But he's kind of a piece of shit for doing that, regardless of his motivation. What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. It's glasses number 8, by the way. I think I actually got that count correct now. Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? Oh! Phoenix. Drop it. Just ask for the note to get analyzed. Why are you accusing Andrews of this? What the fuck are you doing? Okay, so I want to be very clear about something. Phoenix is a piece of shit in this moment. I love this. He 100% is becoming Francisca and Edgeworth in the first game. This is really good. This is really good writing. But again, Juan can also open this. Who's to say Juan didn't do something to it? Who's to say someone didn't switch it out when Juan was like On Guard already knew about the note, right? He already knew that existed. We've established they're spying on each other. Maybe On Guard did something to it. We don't know. Why are we going after Andrews for this? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt on guard. Okay, I guess it does feed into that, but holy fuck, we're sinking to new lows to do this, which is very appropriate, and I love it, but Phoenix is a piece of shit. I did no such thing. Right. If you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory. I was going to comment on this, but you already caught on. Yeah. Mr. Edgeworth, if you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence, that means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. Which is fair. Ugh. That's enough. Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on this suicide note? It is as the defense has stated, the handwriting has yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where no verdict is impossible. That's impossible! This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day. That's also bad, actually. Like, we want to give Gumshoe enough time, but not getting the not guilty verdict today, or the trial not completing today is... but yeah, about the handwriting, the thing you were expected to think when Maya gave that hint was there is an evidence that there was no way for the prosecution to have been able to analyze. Yeah, right. Like, is this game one case? No, it's 4. So there's a short introductory case and then 3 big cases. This is the last one. Yeah, like, it's basically what I said before this, where I was like, we haven't scrutinized this piece of evidence, and I guess you're right, but yeah, you are correct that, like, there was no way to legitimize this piece of evidence through scrutiny. We've just assumed that it was the case. And, like, I fully admit I'll take the L for, like, kind of being like, oh, there's a thing you missed about this piece of evidence being the thing I was looking for there. I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I requested both the prosecution and defense further investigate. Handwriting analysis, my butt. That's just a lawyer trying to buy more time. On guard is guilty. Look, any idiot can tell you that. I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty, 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 guilty. Oof. What is that sound? It's Gumshoe. Hello, Gumshoe? That's not a good response. What is with him? And what's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? Oh, I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal. But the 2 of them were already gone. Fuck. This is terrible. I'm gonna keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't... For us to come this far and... Oh! What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that. Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after... Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch. Is that what Phoenix has been is that what Phoenix has been doing when he's saying that? He's like literally throwing evidence at people. Oh. Catch Edgeworth. Miss Edgeworth? Please, you've got to buy us some more time. Court is in session. God, that's like that is that moment reminds me of actually no, I'm not going to talk about that because it's bad fiction. Edgeworth? Well, no, it's one of those situations where like you basically trust that a person gets it. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying, Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I am reluctant to do this. However, it appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day. Objection. Please wait, Your Honor. Edgeworth? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. Can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. Wouldn't it be better if we adjourned for today and then reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes. Please, Your Honor. That's all I am asking for. Please, Your Honor. Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised that I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. Right. Well, what's going on? Oh, right. Well, what's going on with Maya's situation? D-Killer, looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her in that time. Oh, Gumshoe. Report. Ah, is that Mr. Edgeworth? We don't have time, just spit it out. Right. It looks like we just missed them, sir. But D-Killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away. A few things? Can we use any of them as evidence? Oh, I thought you'd ask, pal. I've got the things he left with me right now, and I'm on my way over. Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first. You don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran. What? Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I've got to put the law on hold for now. Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this. My hunker junk car, I'd say I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me. Alright. Just get here in one piece. I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light. I was left by the murderer, huh? Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. He crashed through the front of the fucking building, didn't he? Oh, or he actually crashed the car. Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe? Answer me. No one can stop me. What happened? Sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? We've got to hurry and call for help. We have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, If we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No, we can't let that happen. Well, if there is a way we can find out where he is, then we stand a chance. Why? Oh, why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at the moment? At this moment? That's right. There is a way. This is absolutely not a safety save at all. What? How? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this. Right, we're not in the middle of a mock trial here. I guess this won't work, huh? I guess it's up to me. Alright, I'll think of something on my end. Don't get your hopes up too high, but I'll try my best. Did I say something wrong? Edgeworth. What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Sorry, I want to see if I can actually get this. Through this. Like, don't we know roughly where he was? Fucking stuck on my nails. Fuck did I put on? I can't do that now. Sorry, bad habit. I'm trying to stop myself biting my nails and shit. I don't know, what? I have a dumb idea. Shoot. Might as well, Charles, go for it. Transmitter? We're not in the middle of the mock trial. No, I don't think that did it. It is important to point out that this game will let you actually fuck up in terms of something like this that's not like too incidental or like too important. Like if there is a way to do it, like the narrative will push us there. It's not going to diverge, I think. Photo, the press conference ticket, the radio transceiver, Lotta's camera, magazine clipping, the hotel map, the guitar case, wine glass, crime scene photo, Jam and Ninja button, suicide report, attempted suicide report, one's autopsy report, knife, Lotta's photo, picture card, spy camera, transmitter, stuffed bear. Let me know if you want a hint. Yeah, I'd love a hint. It's a person? Tracking a person. As in, if we find this person, we'll find Edgeworth? Oh, sorry. If we find this person, we'll find Gumshoe? Is that what you mean? Oh, no. I know who. Fucking Francisco. Why are you bringing up Francisco at a time like... Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. Chances are slim, but she's all we have. Francisco. Does she even want to help us? Yeah, because, like, she knows where Gumshoe is at any given time, and she probably didn't get rid of that after she fired him, so... That makes sense. Edgeworth. What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty. But what I'm doing now... I'm pinning the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say defense attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death. Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. The verdict? Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here? Yes, Bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent. Oh, they're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do. This is going to be a to be continued. Yeah, there it is. I need to get up. I need to eat some lunch. Because it is very late. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. So, we'll get onto some scene with some music. And then I'll quickly go cook that up. I'll take a break and have something to drink. No, we're just straight back into it. Okay. We'll now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. I'm just gonna have lunch, Your Honor, so, yeah, give me, like, 10 to 15 minutes. Alright, so... So, yeah, like, it's gonna take me, like, a couple of minutes just to prepare it, but then what usually happens is I just kind of sit here and shoot the shit while, I eat lunch. Just, like, discuss what's going on in the game outside of that, yeah. I don't, like, take, like, a solid 20 minutes of just nothing. Like, I actually kind of sit here and talk and chat and stuff, but, yeah, so give me a few minutes and I'll be right back. Okay. Sun's out, so I decided to turn off the room light in here, so the lighting's a bit more clear. I forget the fucking phrase for the thing I'm thinking of, but yeah. We're also gonna turn the music down just a tad while we're doing this, I think. Just have it a little bit more in the background than it usually is. So quick PSA actually. I was talking to my roommate about Untitled Goose Game, which came out with multiplayer recently. Apparently, it's local only. So, just so you know, in case that was anyone's in case anyone was thinking of making purchasing decisions around that. Yeah, I want to get it soon on the Switch. I highly recommend it. It's a fucking great game, and apparently the multiplayer, whilst a bit hindered by being local only, is fucking hilarious, so. Very good game that game is. Actually a bit darker in here than I would have thought. Maybe the sun went back. Yeah, it did. Oh, bugger. Hang on a sec. Can't have shit in this house. Did the sun seriously just come? Literally the fucking second I turned the light on, the sun came back out. Ugh. I think we can have a little bit more light in here, just for the lunch break. Oh, not that much though. That's, yeah, that's fine. Oh, man. Yeah, I can't win. I'm sure within the next, like, few minutes, the sun will go back behind the clouds again, but, fuck it. I've been going to ask you for a while, are you aiming for Twitch partnership? Not at the moment, no. I don't even know if I'd really go for, affiliate at the moment, to be honest. Again, like, I've kind of said this before, but, like, I work a full-time job, so... Oh, that's what you meant, right? Oh, fair enough, yeah. The partner is, like, the next step in that, right? Affiliate, you get, like, a couple of emotes, and you get the ability to have subscribers and a few other things. Partners, where you, like, go into, like... You're basically doing it like a part-time job instead of just a, you know, hobby thing. The problem with, the problem I have with me going affiliate, is I work a full-time job. I support myself well with that, right? Like, I can fully fund whatever I need to stream through that. So, when people are giving me money for... If people started giving me money for doing this, like, I would want it to go towards the stream, but the fact of the matter is that I can do that myself, and if people aren't giving me money for it, then I can do it at my own pace. I don't feel, like, obligated to kind of... I don't feel like obligated to up the stream as much as I possibly can. And obviously, like, people figure out, like, they'll sub and be like, oh, okay, this isn't for me, and go off, and that's fine, but at the end of the day, like, I do support myself well enough with that, and what I actually prefer to do is just
I wish there was some way for me within Twitch to be like, hey, if you want to sub to me, I would highly suggest you sub to one of these other people instead, because, like, maybe some of them are content creators that are, like, supporting themselves on Twitch. Maybe there are people who are going through rough times and, you know, donations would be cool. Maybe someone's just starting out, you know? Like, I really wish there was a way for me to be able to, within Twitch, do that. And, like, you could argue that, like, okay, any money that I get put towards the stream, I just throw at other streamers, right? But I feel like that's just double kind of... It's a cynical way of looking at it, but it's basically paying Twitch out twice for the one thing, what ends up being the one thing, and I'd rather just cut out the middleman, which is me. So, without that sort of, like, facility there, I don't feel comfortable, like, going affiliate, because I don't want... Like, more money isn't obviously bad, because I can, like, donate more, or, like, support the stream a bit more, or, like, find other ways to, you know, use that money well. But, quite frankly, I know people who are content creators, I follow streamers who would need the sub, who would far more benefit from the subs than me, so... That's my thing at the end of the day, and I haven't thought of a good way to be able to do anything affiliate without that becoming a problem. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's not on the cards at the moment. If I can figure out a way that that can work, then sure, but yeah. Sorry, I missed a few messages. I thought the affiliate was basically 50 followers and consistent 3 viewers per stream for a certain time, and then you had to really do some shit to lose it. Yeah, that is. But the requirements... Well, first off, I don't meet the requirements. I haven't had an average of 3 viewers, I think, ever since I've been streaming. Or the rolling average, rather. So, like, it's not the hurdles to get that that's the problem. I already have 50 followers, and over time I'll probably get to the point that I can apply for affiliate. Like, my problem has always been that I don't want the money or charity. Well, yeah, but then I'd rather just say, look, I would rather do something like I do with the BLM command, right? And just say, hey, if you want to support me, I really appreciate it. Instead, go and donate to charity. But if I take on the affiliate thing, people can sub, right? And it's not really people who watch my channel that I'm really worried about. It's more like people who come in from raids and stuff like that. People are really generous when they come in. A lot of streamers who raid with people who are very generous and would throw money at people. And as much as I would like the benefits of being an affiliate, I don't want people throwing money at me. I would rather direct them to throw money at someone else, you know? And there isn't a good way to do that isn't somehow taking money away from the person I'm giving it to or would want to give it to. Because, like, if it comes through me first, Twitch gets a cut, and then it goes to me, and then I throw it at that person, Twitch gets a second cut, right? It would be better for that person at the end if the person who was going to give it to me just gave it to them at the end of the day. Yeah, that's pretty much my problem with it. Wolfie points not happening, man. Not until I can figure out a good way to, like, circumvent that. Like, I don't know what tools are available for affiliate. I would need to look into it. I don't know if you can prevent, like, donation. I don't know if you can prevent bit donations and subs. If I can, and I can basically say, hey, I know you were all probably wondering, this guy looks like he's affiliate because he's got channel points. What's the deal? Why can't I give you bits? And I'd be like, good question. And then say, hey, throw money at this person instead. They could use the support. But yeah, I need to look into it a bit more. But, like, I don't even meet the requirements at the moment anyway, so I'm not really thinking about it all that much. And plus, this is a neat hobby thing for me. I don't really need to... Obviously, it would be nice if I made money from it, but the fact of the matter is I've got a full-time job that I'd rather focus on, and doing something like focusing a lot more on streaming could pull away from that, because if, for example, I wanted to change industries that I'm in, I would need to do a lot of legwork to... I need to turn the light on. Hang on a second. I would need to do a lot of legwork to get a foot in the door, because while I have the coding experience, for example, as a software engineer, I don't have experience in other industries other than security and access control that I work in. So time that could be spent furthering that is, yeah, it is a hobby for most. A lot of streamers just use the cash to buy things, stream stuff. But yeah, but that's the thing, right? Is like, I have enough expendable income that I can, like, fully fund all that stuff myself without taking any money from people. And if I can do that, I'd rather everyone just throw the money at someone else, you know? Like, I get I'm being kind of, like, really picky about it, but, like, I really would prefer people being charitable for people who actually kind of need it. Like, for example, Charles is here, right? Charles can kind of, back me up on this. Luca, who is streaming at the moment, who's doing a lot of content creation, I don't know if they're doing that, like, I don't know if she's doing that, like, is going to be looking to do that as a full-time job later on. Obviously, like, she does a lot of videos and stuff like that. But, if someone was going to give money to me, and I don't feel like I need the money, I would probably say, look, Luca is streaming, she's a streamer, she's a content creator, she could probably use the support more than me, because she's trying to do something more with this than I am. I just mean, like, sorry, I should be clear about, why I said your name, Charles, just because you know who I'm talking about. I don't think anyone else in this chat, Dis and Valk, don't know who I'm talking about, I don't think, but there's a content creator we both know who could probably use the support more than me, because I've got a full-time job that has me set for anything I want to do with the stream. She could probably use it more than I, and yeah. If there was some way for me to elegantly be able to say, hey, go support Luca instead, I would 100% do that, because it's probably better off going to her than it is going to me, because it's just going to be... I hate to use the term, but it's going to be superfluous money. Like, I'm already trying to figure out ways that I can, like, donate regularly to other causes and stuff like that. Like, I am well off. So, like... That's another part of it, is just kind of like, I don't want the responsibility of more money coming my way that I already feel like I don't give enough anyway. Yeah. That's the thing. And, like, from what I understand, it doesn't seem like, there would be an easy way to do that, so... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, if I got any amount of notoriety, or I got surprise streamed by someone big, and I was affiliate, and people were able to donate, I feel like they'd just be throwing a lot of money into someone that doesn't need it, as opposed to someone that may actually need it. Yeah, that's like basically the long and short of it. I haven't taken a fucking fork of this I was trying to think of, like, spoonful but forkful, and I couldn't think of a way of phrasing that, so I just said fork. Can you tell I'm tired? I should mute myself when I'm doing that, sorry. Can't catch your FF14 streams since they usually happen when I'm getting ready for the morning daily meetings. Where are you in the MSQ? Susano. We just summoned Susano was just summoned in Stormblood. That's the next thing to do. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's literally where I left off the last stream. Okay, that's better than I thought. Really? Don't tell me how much more there is of it, but, Do you... I guess to vaguely ask the same thing then, do you think I've been going through it fast, or... Because, like, I think I've got, I don't know how many parts I'm up to on the, I don't know how many parts I'm up to on the Stormblood MSQ. Four parts at about 2.5-ish hours each. So, like, math. 10 hours? The right pace, I think. Okay, yeah. Almost did it again. But yeah, it'd be really cool if I could figure out a way of, like, more formally being able to directly channel the support people would want to throw my way and throw it directly at someone else. Like, I don't know how that would work, really. Like, if I could get, like, all of my Twitch revenue as just bits instead and throw that at other people, that might actually work. That would be actually kind of neat, not gonna lie. I should probably hurry up. It's been, like, 2 hours, and we're probably... This next part is probably gonna be long. Hair fell in there. Okay, interesting. Don't say anything more about that, though. I'd rather not have any expectations for how this is gonna go. I missed anything that's been going on today. Oh yeah, for some reason I've got, what the hell is it called? We All Live Together from, Warframe in my head. I don't know why. I saw your last Hades stream though, the last part of it. Game looks way too hardcore for me. It is a roguelike, so like it has a lot of steady progression and like death being an inevitability for a long time. It's a really neat game. It does introduce it is a bit easier than a lot of roguelikes because it rolls a lot of its difficulty into like an advanced mode once you've gotten through an entire run. So you do end up hitting the end a lot more than in other roguelikes, but yeah, it is also very fast. You need to be very zippy. Not that I don't think people can adjust to that, but obviously, like, yeah, it's not your thing, it's not your thing, you know? Oh, sorry. I should be specific. It's a roguelite. So you do keep a fair bit of progression between runs. And indeed, Hades is kind of built around that. Like, the story progresses as you keep dying, as runs fail or succeed. Yeah. So, like, you start off with one weapon. There's an XP system that you can slowly progress that persists between runs. You can unlock weapons to do runs with different weapons, and they stay unlocked. You progress the story by talking to people, and that happens in between runs. So every time you finish a run, whether you die or succeed, you end up progressing the story some, you get some progression in, then you start again. Like, that's kind of its loop. So you do get to keep a lot of the grinding. And you can, like, kind of choose to go, okay, well, this thing could help me for this run specifically, or I could go down this way and get a reward that helps me permanently. So you do have some control over that as well. Yeah, I'd suggest honestly looking at it. It's a really neat game. It's, like, everything about it's not the game mechanics is fucking stellar, and the game mechanics I feel are like really, really just have been refined over like a year and a half because it was in early access, so it's good. I would highly recommend it. But yeah, like look to get a good idea, look at some of the earlier Hades streams I did, because I started a new file on stream, so you can kind of see like the progression I make between runs. If you've got the time, of course. That's a lot of streams. Also keep in mind that obviously I play the game in early access, I played it for a long time, so like there's a lot about it that I may not explain about the mechanics, or I may just make decisions automatically without really thinking about them, which is just kind of my own, like, I got into a play style with that game and went immediately for that. There are obviously a lot of options and a lot of different ways you can advance, like, powers and whatnot. Oh, I didn't know about it until it was announced in Indie's World presentation. Yeah, when it got announced for the Switch, I think. Is that the thing you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah, and it came out soon after on the Switch, in fact. It was kind of surprised. The devs actually kept that under wraps until that was announced, which is pretty cool. They obviously got a really big pop-off from that. Disappointed Capcom didn't announce a second trilogy of Ace Attorney and TGS. Capcom... People need to play the other 3 games. Well, yeah, I mean, that's fair. But, like... Capcom's always been really weird with, like, what they choose to kind of... Not remaster specifically, but, like... Fuck, what am I trying to say? They've always been really weird about the stuff they kind of bring back, and their reasoning for and against bringing back things. Like, I'd be really surprised if the Ace Attorney trilogy didn't actually sell well. It would probably take less work than this trilogy. 2 of the 3 games are 3D models after all. Well, oh no, I guess they did do some artwork and yeah. I guess it also depends on what systems they were on. That's kind of the meat of it, because, like, porting stuff from the Wii U, for example, would probably be a fucking nightmare, because, like, it was designed around incredibly specific peripherals, whereas porting something from any other console, practically, a non-Nintendo console specifically, is obviously a lot easier. The first was in DS, it was pixelated but sharper than the first 3. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I think I'm actually gonna shut up and finish eating, because I've been sitting here for way too long, and it's getting kind of late in the afternoon, so I'm gonna kind of finish up quick here. I'm gonna quickly go to the bathroom, brush my teeth and that, but we'll be back in just a minute. no, Dis, you're fine. Um, I cannot eat and talk at the same time. It's actually kind of a bad idea for me to do this in lunch breaks, but like I like having the conversation. It's just I need to also be very careful that I am like actually eating and not just, you know, not. So, yeah. You're all good. Don't worry about it. So I had a thought. I just realized this stream's probably going to go for another 2 hours or something, and I feel like that's going to be far too late for people who have stuck around. Like, Charles and Dis, specifically. I think Valk's still here, but he's on my time, so... But yeah, it's getting, like, late in the afternoon. Like, stick around, actually. I mean... Tomorrow's Sunday. Well, but that's not the point. That's not the point, right? Like, I don't want people kind of like feeling obligated to stay up just for that, you know. I don't know. Like, if everyone here is okay with me going for the long haul, then fine. But yeah, like, well, but actually, I don't know. Like, this could be even longer, and I don't even know if there's only 2 parts. I've been assuming that. If this goes for 3 hours, like, I probably wouldn't actually want to stream that. Like, not just because, well, okay, Diz, do you know if, so, hang on, where's my controller? We're not focused on the game. So we're in part 4, we're in trial... Oh, sorry, we're in episode 4, part 4-2. Is there a -3? Because if that's the case, I'm just going to stream it next weekend. Like, I hate to tease it out like this, but like, yeah, I feel like this is going to go too late into the afternoon for my liking, even if that's the case. I don't think it'll take 3 hours. Do you mind looking up if there's a 4-3? Like, yeah, like, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just conscious of it going into the afternoon, but the other thing is too, especially with Sundays, like, I do like having a fair amount of time to myself in the night or in the late afternoon / night, and yeah, we're kind of getting to the point that it's going to be, like, not much time for me. So, if it's going to go for a while, then I'm happy to just kind of do it next weekend. But... yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Valk. Like, from what I saw, there isn't another part. Yeah. No, I think I am going to call it. Yeah, like, it's already 4. If that's going to go for another 2 hours, that's going to go for, like, at least 6. And if it goes longer than that, then I'm not going to... I'm going to feel self-conscious about it. So I think we're going to... yeah, I hate to have cut to a lunch break and then do this, but I think this is just going to be better for everyone. Or it's going to be better stream-wise. There isn't much left, actually. Well, I mean, assuming I don't get hooked on anything, but... no, like... I'd say how many testimonies there are, but it'd be a bit spoilery. Yeah, that's fair. I feel like there's a lot to go through, and, like... Well, okay, here's the other thing. Like, I'm actually, like, tired as well, so, like... Lunch has obviously brought me back a bit, but... Yeah, I feel like the later it gets in the day, the worse I'm gonna be, too. Like, maybe resuming this when I'm actually thinking a bit better might be also good, too, because clearly... there are a few moments where I really wasn't catching on what I should have. No, I think I'm going to call it. Yeah, again, I hate to end the stream in the way I did, but I think it's just going to be better structured. Yeah,
point of continuing if you're tired. Yeah, and it's only going to get worse as it goes on, and it's only 4 and I'm already feeling it, so yeah, I think we're just going to wrap up for the day. This beats not streaming, but for some reason Sundays just fucking slay me. I don't know what it is. But yeah. So, a bit anticlimactic, unfortunately, but we're on, I think, the last part, and it seems like the killer got to Gumshoe, or at least that was the I don't know if that last message was Gumshoe or if it was someone else. And the game after this one is way better in general. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, we'll get to that when I get to that. Because I'm probably gonna be playing it immediately after, so yeah. Yeah, so yeah, a bit of a messy end to this, but it'll be good for next weekend. That it'll be a nice clear-cut length of stream. It's probably going to be like 2 or 3 hours, so I feel like that's a good trade-off for ending it here. So, more Hades during the week. FF14 during the week. So I kind of alluded to this before, but I think my plan going forward is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday for streams. Maybe Tuesday, probably not, but a maybe. And then a Mystery Friday, where it's probably going to be a coin flip whether I do anything or not, but I'm going to update the stream for that. And then there's going to be Ace Attorney next weekend, and we're going to finish off this case in particular. Which I don't know what we're going to do now. I really wasn't expecting to get right back into the trial here, but yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, so thank you all for watching, whether you're live or on the VODs. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a lovely day, and I hope to see you all next time.